Let's talk about sauces. In the kitchen, in cuisine, especially in the French cuisine, we have mother sauces. Those mother sauces, what we call them mother, is because they're actually the base for a lot of other sauces. Tomato sauce. So tomato sauce, depending on where you go in the world, you're always going to find some kind of tomato, and what's going to differ is really the spices you put in there. So if you got something like marinara sauce in Italy where they use basil, then you go to Mexico and they're going to make like an enchilada sauce where they use cumin or other spices like that. So Hollandaise emulsion is just egg yolk with butter. And once again, this mother sauce, this is the basic that if you had like some tarragon reduction with shallots, it become a béarnaise. And then those béarnaise actually can go, if you had tomato to the béarnaise, it will become a Choron sauce. All right, let's make a tomato sauce. I'm gonna start with a little bit of butter. Don't forget, it's French. And we're gonna saute onions. So remember when we did the soup, did the same. Get the onions, saute the onions to get the flavor out. Like we did the onion soup, we don't want those onions to be caramelized. And this is the difference between a French, or if we do a marinara or something Italian or even Mexican, is actually gonna use some flour. I'm gonna add a little bit of chicken stock and then my tomato product. A little salt and pepper and then a sachet. And we're gonna let that cook for about a half an hour or so. All right, the next one is Hollandaise. And Hollandaise is really simple when you think about it. So what we'll start with is first, I got a double boiler. So I got water going here. So I got egg yolk in here. And I'm gonna add some wine. And usually I put about the same amount of, maybe a half a teaspoon of wine or liquid per egg yolk. If you don't have wine, you can just put water. I'm gonna put my egg yolk and whip it. So Hollandaise, it's an emulsion. There's nothing to hold everything together. You have to make sure that it's not too hot. Otherwise, you're gonna end up with scrambled eggs. So you can see right now it's starting to thicken. And when I talk about Reuben, it's when it's gonna make a Reuben when it's cooked. That time it'll be ready for us to introduce the butter. So talking about butter, what we're gonna add to the egg yolk, clarified butter is just melted butter, really slow melted butter. And what we call the clarified is actually just the butter fat coming on top. So I'm gonna take it off the heat, whip it a little bit more to cool it down. So I don't want the butter to be too cold and too hot. So it should be like the eggs and the butter should be about the same temperature. And you can see when it cools down like that, the eggs are really becoming thicker. So now we're ready to add the butter. Here's your clarified butter. So that's your clarified butter. I just want to use basically the fat part, like I said, the butter fat in here. And I'm gonna incorporate that butter slowly in the egg yolk. And you can see the eggs thickening when I add the butter. So this is the emulsion. So I'm gonna add a little bit of salt. Now, one thing you have to be careful when you season a Hollandaise is that it takes a while for the salt to dissolve because it's mainly fat, you know, with the butter. So it's gonna take a while. So you wanna make sure you just season a little bit and let it stand, because otherwise you're gonna end up with something really easily over salting the sauce. Then I'm gonna add a little bit of lime juice, and I like to add a couple of drops of hot sauce. And here we go, we got the Hollandaise, and we are ready to serve brunch. The only thing I need is my poached eggs and my ham for the egg Benedict.
Don't forget to clean as you go.